Today, we're diving into a classic fairy tale that has a surprisingly modern message, The Golden Goose. It's a story that really makes you ask a fundamental question about what's truly valuable. We tend to put a lot of value on being sharp and intelligent, but this story, it kind of pushes back on that idea. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, kindness is the real secret to success. And that's the core conflict we're going to unpack today. So our story centers on three brothers. They come from the same family, obviously, but their lives are about to go in wildly different directions, all because of a single choice they each have to make. So let's break down our main characters, right? On one side, you've got the eldest son, proud and selfish. Then there's the middle son, who's clever, sure, but he's also unkind, which is a pretty dangerous mix. And then there's the youngest. Everyone calls him Dumbling, basically meaning he's a bit of a simpleton. But the story points out his most important quality. He has a good heart. The contrast is just so stark. All right, so the stage is set and our characters are about to be put to the test. Their father sends them off to do a simple chore, but believe me, it quickly turns into something way more important. So their dad sends them into the forest. But get this, he sends them one by one. And you have to wonder, why do that? Well, it's because this is way more than just about cutting wood. It's a test of character, and each brother has to face it all by himself. And here's the test. It's so simple. An old man just asks for a little bit of food and water. I mean, it's the kind of small, everyday moment we all run into. But for these brothers, this small moment is going to have massive consequences. So how do the older brothers do? Well, let's just say their responses show a pretty clear and honestly kind of destructive pattern of selfishness. Okay, first up is the eldest brother. Remember, he's the one who's defined by his pride and his selfishness. So his reaction to the old man's very simple request is, well, pretty predictable. He doesn't just say no, he's actually rude about it. Like the slide says, he's thinking only of himself. It's a perfect example of how a lack of empathy can lead you to make some really poor choices. And bam, the consequence is immediate. His selfishness is met with instant failure. The story draws a straight line from his unkindness right to his own misfortune. All right, so next up is the middle brother. Now, this guy's clever, so you'd think, hey, maybe he'll make a smarter choice. But he's facing the exact same test, and unfortunately, that cleverness of his is paired with a real lack of kindness. This guy, he actually takes it a step further. He doesn't just refuse, he laughs at the old man and walks off. I mean, that's not just selfish anymore, that's just plain cruel. His cleverness is basically used as a weapon against someone who needs help. And the result? You guessed it, complete failure. His axe breaks, he comes home empty-handed. The pattern is crystal clear, isn't it? A lack of kindness leads straight to bad news. Okay, so after two, spectacular failures, it's finally time for the youngest son, Dumbling, to face the test. Is he just going to repeat the same mistakes, or is he going to break the cycle? And this quote right here, this is the turning point of the entire story. It tells us that Dumbling's real power isn't in his brain. It's his heart full of kindness. This is where that whole idea of kindness versus cleverness really comes to a head. I mean, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? You've got the older brothers on one side, their selfishness and cruelty just lead them straight to failure. But then you have Dumbling, whose kindness basically opens up a whole new world of possibilities. It really makes you stop and think, right? What's the actually smart choice in the long run? So what's the big takeaway here? What's the moral of the story? Because it's pretty clear this isn't really about chopping wood, is it? It's all about how we treat people. The story is basically saying that being selfish and proud, it just backfires on you. It argues that it's not about being the smartest or the strongest person in the room. Real, life-changing success, that seems to come from a place of kindness, a place of empathy. And that leaves us with this one really powerful question to think about. I mean, they called him Dumbling, the simpleton, the fool. But who was the real fool here? Was it the brothers whose so-called cleverness and pride got them absolutely nowhere? Or was it the one whose simple kindness unlocked his entire future? It's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.